Going on.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for another interview with King Solomon Entertainment Media Group. Thank you guys so much. You know, we could not do what we do without our partners and our sponsors. We want to thank so much Heart to Heart for You.org, Heal to Heal.org for their wonderful partnership. We want to thank the Tommy Washington Massage Therapy Group for their wonderful partnership as well. We also want to thank Dr. Amanda Rosette for in the physical therapy group for that wonderful partnership as well. GQ Automotive Detail Service for their wonderful partnership as well. Thank you guys so much. If you have not subscribed, please take this time to subscribe. We are on most social media platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as LinkedIn. Take this time right now. The titles are in the title subscriptions right now. Please subscribe if you have not already. We appreciate you guys so much. And if you want to support us directly, please, that's our cash out. Everything goes to helping us continue to grow this platform. And if you want to sponsor and partner with us, please reach out to King Solomon Entertainment.tv to do that and connect with us. And we'll let you know how to do that. Our next guest here on the Cultural Scribe, we are so happy we create this platform for rap artists and for those who want to just further what they're doing in the industry as far as independent artistry, underground artistry. The Culture Scribes, I believe, are the one that is really pinning exactly what's going on. That's why I named it the Culture Scribe. And we're so grateful to have rap artists who have just landed a big ESPN sync licensing deal. Thank you so much for coming to the platform, Kaila Love. Thank you guys.
Hey, what's going on, James? How's it going?
Man, we are so excited to have you, Kaila. You're doing big things. You are groundbreaking. You're trending. And I'm telling you, you're a phenomenon because what you have done, so many people are wishing they could do. That's why it's so great to have you on to talk about it. And we're going to talk about the licensing deal, but we want to first get a sense of who you are. So give yourself somewhat a formal introduction of who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
They say about me, I've been rapping since 14 to impress a boy in the ninth grade, trying to make it seem like I'm the cool girl in class instead of a cute girl with dash. They used to think I was a hoe, didn't know how to flow with these raps. And I've been rapping ever since, James. So that's my main love, the talent at heart. But in the quest to become an independent artist, in these times, you know, back in the day, you had to go through the label. Today, we have a lot of possibility. Also means you kind of got to be your own manager, your own graphic designer, your own photographer, sometimes your own editor. And so that's what I've dedicated a lot of these last 10 plus years to doing, to where I could be able to land a sync licensing placement.
No, absolutely. And you're doing just that, and you know how hard it is. But when you love what you do, when you're passionate about what you do, and that's the commitment to it. And so when you just have a not giving up in your bones, all they got to do is just continue to manifest itself eventually, right? Because you're doing what you love to do. And so you just said you're from the Bay Area, correct? That's
Yes.
wonderful. So what are
Yeah.
some of the artists, a lot of artists up there? So what are some of the artists that influenced you?
Man, so I mean, first and foremost is Tupac, because when I was at UC Berkeley, I actually taught a whole class on Tupac. I got the readers around here somewhere. And, you know, I feel like learning about Tupac was learning about, you know, the music industry, but also learning about American history, learning about the Black Panthers, learning about politicians and like that whole world. And so that really opens me up into learning so much more about hip hop and life in general. And so that would be, you know, like the OG kind of influence, like Homage. And then for the new school, I'm not sure if you know him, he's a big independent artist though on the rise, Russ, because I feel like he's really mastered that DIY model, you know, from everything from the production to the engineering. And so he was who actually inspired me to go back to school to get a second degree in recording arts. So those are two of my big kind of influences, like the old school and the new school.
So you had went back to school, got your recording arts. How did that help you maneuver around? 'Cause a lot of people work in the studio, they kind of like find their own way around there. But how did that make a difference, knowing how to move around in the studio? Do you approach differently now? Do you approach it with skill and technique and precision now that you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I knew some of this stuff intuitively just in my little garage band when I was just like on my little headset microphone and stuff. But going there, I mean, I developed such an appreciation for what engineers do to really understand understand what their job entails, the things that they have to know, what they're responsible for. And so even though I don't even necessarily want to just be an engineer, but I do feel blessed now that I have that new mindset and just better communication skills with any engineer that I'm working with.
And then it's also imperative, especially with female artists, that you know when somebody trying to.
Mm.
Oh, you,
Go ahead, say that.
let me get it out, Kaila. You know when you been, BS. So this is a wonderful thing now because you know the ins and outs of how the studio work, how production works, and how producers and what producers supposed to do. So it was a blessing to know. So definitely pass that knowledge on to your female, counterparts so they can know
Definitely.
when they being hooked with, because you know how that goes. But we're
Hey,
so
at the
excited
clear.
about you. What are some of the personal things you do to work on your craft? What are some of the things you do if I to rap? What you do? You practice over and over? What's some things you do?
Man, I wake up between like 5 and 6 every day. I'll go for a walk. I manifest all the things that I want. I imagine myself performing in front of crowds of thousands of people. I imagine myself in the studio working with Russ and just really imagine myself doing stand up with Tiffany Haddish, smoking a blunt with Snoop Dogg, just all of the things. And I just really like hone into all of those things. And I carry that through with me throughout the day. That's just to like set everything. And then depending on what projects that I have, sometimes it's sending out emails, crafting my newsletter. If I have a new song, like always trying to finish in verses here and there. And, I haven't been doing a whole lot of performing, because of the
Right.
pandemic, but just making sure, I got my performance tracks ready and my lung capacity is on point and all of the things, so that's what I was pretty much spend my day at least trying to at least write once a day, do a physical exercise once a day, and be in community and trying to really get better at following up. That's the hard one. Mm-hmm.
So what's something that's in your surrounding that inspires you? What inspires you to create?
Oh man, I feel like life inspires me. Just being alive every day inspires me. I just pull from all of the things that are happening and just trying to tap in and just knowing that I have this capacity to be almost a translator and hopefully be able to express some of the thoughts and feelings that people have, but just don't have maybe that vessel to articulate them. So really just drawing from the energy around me.
Yeah, that brings us great segue to bring us to sync licensing and placement because it's about matching the cause with with what's going on. So how did you end up lucking up on getting that? I'm sure that you worked hard to get it, but how did you end up getting it?
Oh man, I started going to all these music conferences, which I didn't even really know was a thing until I went to school to become an engineer. And then I was kind of tapped into that community and they was talking about, there was this one artist, I never seen her, I ain't never heard of her, but they talking about she making 50,000 a year doing licensing. And they kept talking about sync. I'm like kitchen sink and sync, like what the hell y'all talking about? And then I finally learned like, oh, that stands for synchronization, sync licensing. So I was like, oh, I want to do that. And so that was like exactly almost 2 years ago. I said, that's going to be my goal. So I started just doing research and started trying to make connections and started just trying to learn about the game. And I realized I had a lot of work to do because even if I had the best song in the world, I didn't have the legal clearance for it. I was getting beats from, beat stars and things like that. I couldn't sync it. So I had to go hire, an entertainment lawyer. I had to learn about contracts and royalty splits and all of this stuff to even prepare myself to get that opportunity and just be consistent. I went to this little reunion for a program that I was in Cal, and everybody's, going sitting in their table. Hey, I'm in my master's program now, or I'm working for the senator now, or I'm, doing this and that, or these tech companies. And it's like, yeah, I'm Kaila Love. I'm still rapping like I always said I was gonna do. And my homie came up and he said, Kaila, I'm in the music industry too. I'm working at this distributor called United Masters. And, that's Steve South's company. So I was had just signed up for them a week before. So I was like, see how my manifestations is coming. That's a sign I'm on the right track. So me and him started working together and he told me about the opportunity. And he said, man, I feel like you could really do it, Kaila. I think that if you have a song, I think that it would, be good enough to get in the game. And so I decided to go at it, make the song, have all the legal stuff in order, do what I needed to do. and I submitted it, and it got synced for both ESPN and NBA 2K.
NBA 2K21.
Yes, yes.
Huge. That is so huge.
Hmm.
That's amazing. That is
But
amazing.
you want to know the most amazing part about this, though, is that I was actually able to get some of my other friends on there as well. So I
Wow.
got, and just 2 days ago, my homegirl Lil MC found out that she got in the game too. So that's the blessing for me, that I was able to not just do it for myself, but now expand that opportunity to others.
That is amazing. That is simply amazing. And so this is what it's about, because now you get to help others, and now that's another, consulting, and another thing, recruiting. That's a whole nother thing that you can get into. That's how you get blessed. So it's wonderful that you're able to do that. And so please share, what is Kaila Love message through her music, through her life? What is Kaila Love message?
Man, my message is really, I mean, what I want to see in my lifetime is true, like, freedom and equality for all people. So I feel like all things come through love. That's why I say every time you say my name, you say something positive. So it's really just to bring a message of love, and maybe in a way that doesn't look traditional, because we might think all Valentine's Day when we think of love, but just how much that is rooted in something deeper. And I feel that it's really truly rooted in freedom. And like Nina Simone says, like, her definition of freedom is a freedom from fear. And that's ultimately like what I would like to contribute to the world through, whether my art, my voice, whatever way that I can, is really to achieve that goal.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a beautiful message of inspiration. I'm sure women empowerment is somewhere in there as well. You're so engrossed in culture. I can see that you love the culture. It's just amazing to really find new artists and what they're bringing to the table, and a strong sense of self kind of helps
Mm,
to get there close sooner.
right.
But we love to watch the journey. We love watching the evolution of artists. And so their beginning is always their beginning, but the growth is really, how we begin to come to appreciate them. But when we look back, we want to look at the whole body of work. So you definitely out who definitely is starting off from a very good beginning. That's the main thing. So it seemed like you got the foundation and stuff there to a great career in music. So who are some of your dream collaborations to work with? Like some of your dream artists
Oh
that you
yeah,
love to collaborate with?
the Tupac hologram. Nah, I'm just playing. That would be so weird. That would be so weird. But I feel like that's gonna be the future of the music industry. Um,
That's
but
funny.
I know, because it's like, man, Tupac, Lisa Left Eye would have been just everything. Two of my favorite artists, but like Russ is really like the major one that I feel, And there's also Locksmith, who is from Richmond, California, and he went to UC Berkeley as well. In fact, the day that I graduated, I went to go buy his album that had just dropped as a graduation present to myself, and the person at the
Mm.
record store said, "He was just here. You just missed him." Now, I was the president of the hip hop club, and I had some connections, so I had to have his number. And I said, "Yo, Locke, I don't mean to bother you like this, but I just graduated from Cal, and I heard you were around." And he was like, "I'm not there right now, but I'm in Oakland." And we met up in the Trader Joe's parking lot, and he done signed my diploma. So that was the seed that I'm planning for a collaboration down the line with him. 'Cause-
Wow, that is amazing.
Mhm.
So what's next for Kaila Love, the artist? What's next?
Man,
Post
well,
pandemic, everything. What's next?
oh man, I'm trying to do it like Diddy style. I mean, I know Diddy, he all in the video and all that, and we can say that, but you know what? He, at the end of the day, he was also like an artist, a mogul. He's producing conferences like the Revolt Conference, and just
Oh my
like that whole venue, and being able to provide opportunities and jobs and reality TV shows, making a band. And so I feel like I always thought of myself initially as just an artist, but then I realized that I'm more trying to be like a Diddy, and that's kind of what's next for me in terms of my music. I'm working with an amazing producer, my friend Unlearn the World. His last project, Universes, was featured on The Source. And so, hopefully we're going to knock out these 7 tracks and get them all placed and just keep the sync licensing rolling in, keep making good music for the people that's positive. Most of my music, I say 5% I don't curse, you know, just to have that accessibility, because I was teaching kids and, you know, they always want to say a bad word. And then you got to kind of show like, oh, you can still be cool without doing it. So I'm just trying to make that quality music and expand as much as possible and help as many artists as I can along the way.
So what do you think about who are some of the producers you like to work with? You just mentioned one. Who are some other dream producers you like to work with? Timberland, Swiss Beats, like who are some of the other producers?
I mean, it would be a dream to work with any of those producers, but it's also like there's so many gems that are in the community, you know? And I love finding those underdog producers where I'll be like on BeatStars, I'll be like, oh, this shit only got 47 plays. Like, that's my shit, you know? I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll be like, those be the ones that sometimes
That's funny.
speak to my soul, you know?
That is hilarious.
And so I'm really just trying to like find some really dope women producers also, because in the world of like videography and production, I've always had a hard time finding women to connect with. I always find, you know, a lot of women MCs and photographers and, you know, consultants and things like that. But it's like, oh, I want to see more women producers and more women videographers and seek them out and work with them. So my homegirl Jenna at LMC, she got some songs. So shout outs to her, even though she don't be on social media like that. And shout outs to Young and Flow. I would love to keep working with him. He's the one who produced Halftime, which is the song that's on NBA 2K
That's Trinity
and
Halftime.
ESPN.
Yes.
And the last producer, Ricky Suave, who is a New York producer, and he's the one who did my last single, I Did. So yeah, those are producers that I want to continue working with. And I want these producers, you know, like the Missy Timberland kind of connection, like, you know, the Eminem Dr. Dre vibes.
It's amazing. So what do you think about light skin Keisha, Renzi, Mulatto? What do you think about those artists?
Man, I love that women are dominating right now and that we are seeing a resurgence of so many different women to listen to, because, you know, back in the golden era, you did have, you know, all these artists, Roxanne, Shantae, Shyrock, like all of these artists. And then we had, you know, the Salt and Pepper and the Queen Latifahs, like the 90s era. And then even when we kept evolving with our Trinas and our Lil Kims and our Foxy Browns, and then it was kind of like, oh, it's just Nicki and Krayshawn and Iggy, and then it felt like there was kind of just like there could only be one at a time. And now I feel like we're overcoming that, going back kind of to the golden era where we have these women are able to have great, you know, successful careers. And so I love that, and I just want to be a part of that movement too, because I want there to be that wide range of representation. Like I know 50 women artists in the Bay Area that's so dope right now, and I don't feel like any of them are my competition, because we all have our unique style and lane. And what I think is that just how, you know, a certain vibe and topics take over, that's happening too with like women. So there's like a lot of that rap of just like, oh, you know, just like fuck him, take his credit card and we gonna just like, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool. There's a time and place for that, but that's not necessarily what I represent or want to represent, or I think I should. And I just want to feel like I got a shot at it too with my message.
No. And I think that's the beauty of it. The different messages, the different approach, how you say them. I mean, all that stuff entails a great song. So, but I think the message is always a universal message. It's still an empowering message. Just you saying just saying a hip way of saying it, you know. But you know, but it's beautiful. It's music. It's diversity. I've yet to see women artists ran by a woman company leading the company. We need to see that too. That might have a different look on different songs when like a lot of women are signed to like male dominating companies and artists, but yet to see a woman owning a company that women artists are under. Maybe it might look differently on the other end, you know?
I mean, it might. I'm gonna let you know.
It might. This is wonderful. Please let people know how to get in touch with you, how they can reach out to you, how they can definitely help in what you're doing in your cars and stuff. Let them know.
Oh man, well, it's Kaila Love Music, but the trick here is the I. It's Kaila. Kaila Love Music on all platforms, and KailaLove.com is like my little Kaila Love hub where you can find all of my things. And yeah, I'll be working on my fourth EP with Unlearn the World. I'll be working on getting some more of these beat and song placements and just continuing helping artists grow. That's the Kaila Love brand.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh well, you got to come back whenever you have anything. You are welcome. And
Ah, thank
thank you so
you.
much for helping us be on Instagram at the same time we are everywhere else. We thank you for that. We get to see you on both ones. So stay put, and we're going to close out, and then we can finish up. So stay put.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for
Thanks,
tuning in for
Dane.
another interview with King Simon Entertainment Media Group, the Cultural Scribe. We appreciate what you're doing. Reach out to us, connect with us directly at the on our website, KingSimonEntertainment.tv. Reach out with us, connect with us. Definitely subscribe if you have not. Share this video. We are definitely appreciate to that. That's how you can definitely help us as well. Comment and then definitely subscribe and follow. Until next time, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, Kaila Love. We're going to be watching you doing wonderful things, and we support you. Definitely reach out to her on all social media platforms, you guys. Until next time,